we will start with sleeper pitchers for the short week. So if you're setting your lineups for just today, opening day, Thursday through Sunday, March 27th through the 30th, these are the pitchers that you should be looking at. We will also talk about sleepers for the long week in just a second. But Scott, who are some sleeper pitchers you like for this weekend in particular?
Yeah, the short week is the default CBS settings. So if you don't use that, your numbering for the weeks is going to be off the rest of the year, because week 2 for you will be week 3 for us, but whatever. Anyway, short week. I like Jose Soriano most among those rostered in less than 80% of the leagues. That's the cutoff I use for this, less than 80% for CBS Sports leagues. Jose Soriano gets the White Sox and had back-to-back strong starts to end spring training, good at keeping the ball on the ground. Drew Rasmussen gets the Rockies in Tampa, in Swamp Renner Field, but it's the Rockies on the road, which is good. And also, I think Rasmussen being a ground ball pitcher, he'll be one of the least affected Rays pitchers by that environment. Nick Martinez gets the Giants, and we'll see if the elite control gains from last year carry over. Tomoyuki Sagano gets the Blue Jays, which is not the easiest matchup, kind of mid-tier, but he'll have the element of surprise going here in his major league debut, and is efficient enough to work deep into the game. Would you like? Taj Bradley also gets the Rockies in Tampa. A lot more worried about him at Swamp Renner Field, but the Rockies don't have a lot of good hitters, and he may just pile up a lot of strikeouts in that game. Mitch Keller gets the Marlins. Always risky with Mitch Keller, but hopefully he can at least take advantage of the Marlins and go deep into the game if he does. Jeffrey Springs is at Seattle. He finished spring training strong after a worrisome start. Max Meyer gets the Pirates, like the matchup, like what he showed with new pitches and improved velocity this spring. I just wonder if he'll go deep enough to be all that impactful. The most pitches Max Meyer threw in a spring start is 65. And finally, a couple more A's pitchers pitching at Seattle this weekend. Luis Severino and Osvaldo Bido, who's only 9% rostered. So widely available if you're in a deeper league.
Sleeper pitchers for the long week. So this is opening day, March 27th through April 6th. So I know a lot of head-to-head leagues will just do one long week and 11-day scoring period. There are 2 names on this list, Scott, that you already mentioned for the short week, Soriano and Mitch Keller. But there are 3 names we have not mentioned yet. Who are they?
Justin Verlander is one. He's at Cincinnati, first outing, which is a little scary, but then he gets the Mariners in the second one. He looked like he might have something left in the tank this spring, and is good at eating innings if he's pitching well. Casey Mize, you can't ask for better matchups than the Mariners and the White Sox, which he gets in the long week. I'm not sure Casey Mize is actually good, but he did show signs of improvement this spring. Added velocity on the splitter, was getting more whiffs with that. Hopefully, worst case scenario, the damage is mitigated against those 2 bad lineups. And then finally, Chris Paddock, great first matchup at the White Sox. And we saw his fastball start to generate tons of whiffs in spring training, last couple starts especially. It's not clear if he is getting a second start. It would be against the Astros. Actually, I don't think he's going to end up making that second start if the rotation order is updated on the team's official site.
Honestly, I might prefer him to just start against the White Sox.
It kind of depends what the format is, right? But yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. Chris, if we're just talking about streaming early on in the season, we mentioned a lot of the teams here that Scott has pitchers going up against. Which teams are you looking to take advantage of most? It feels like the White Sox, the Marlins, the Mariners. Is there anyone else that top of mind that you're looking to stream your pitchers against early in the season?
Rockies, anytime they're on the road. I think that's arguably the worst lineup in baseball when they're on the road, especially. It'll be more so throughout the season when they're leaving Coors Field because of the Coors hangover. But yeah, I think it's Rockies on the road, Marlins and White Sox are kind of the clear worst lineups in baseball right now.
All right, let's move over to hitters, the best hitter matchups for the short week. Again, this is March 27th through March 30th. So basically this weekend, the Red Sox, Pirates, Marlins, Rays, and Angels, best hitter matchups. The worst hitter matchups Reds, Phillies, Tigers, Cardinals, and Guardians. That doesn't mean bench your studs on those teams. It means if you have a close call, maybe you lean with benching, a fringe player who has really bad matchups this upcoming week. Scott, who are some sleeper hitters that you like March 27th through March 30th?
Yeah, I think as a general rule, you're going to stream hitters less than pitchers. But if you play in a deep enough league or have had some injuries already, you might want to stream some of these guys. One of them, the number one, is Lourdes Gurriel, who is facing 3 lefties in the Diamondbacks' first 4 games. Last year, Gurriel hit lefties to the tune of a .331 batting average and 885 OPS. Jorge Soler, just like their pitchers benefit from it facing the White Sox opening weekend, so do their hitters. So Jorge Soler's on here. He had 5 home runs this spring. Taylor Ward's on here. Good week for the Angels. Michael Toglia, now, again, the Rockies are on the road to open the season, but Swamp-Brenner Field, I call it that because its actual name is Steinbrenner Field, same dimensions as Yankee Stadium, but in the hot and muggy air of Florida, so Swamp-Brenner Field. Ball should travel better there than Yankee Stadium. And Toglia hit like 2/3 of his home runs on the road last year. Anyway, Matt Wallner, supposed to bat leadoff for the Twins when they face righties, and they're facing a few mashable ones to open the season: Sonny Gray, Eric Fetty, and Andre Palante. So maybe a couple homers from him. 3 Red Sox here. Now, the Red Sox, I can definitively say their matchups have gotten worse in the last 12 hours, and I haven't had a chance to update it. They are now facing DeGrom in the 4-game weekend when initially they weren't supposed to. But the other 3 Rangers pitchers they're facing are pretty weak. And it's a 4-game schedule, which not every team has. So I have Christian Campbell on here, Trevor Story, and Ceddanne Rafaela, who, by the way, did show improved plate discipline this spring. And it was a point of focus for him. I think he actually walked more than he struck out this spring. I'm skeptical it'll carry over because you don't get much worse plate discipline than Ceddanne Rafaela.
I mean, he walked about 20% as often as he struck out last year.
It is something to monitor, though.
Yeah.
Michael Busch is on here because Cubs play 4 games. I think just 1 is a lefty. He might sit that game, but it's just the 1. Yeah, just 1. And then Max Kepler, who the Phillies are facing Mackenzie Gore on opening day, but I don't think there's really any other option. I think they'll have to start Kepler against lefties, and if they don't, he'll get 2 games against Trevor Williams and Jake Irvin. So with the improvements Kepler made with the swing this spring, working with Kevin Long, I am excited about him and think it could justify using him even opening weekend.
All right, the best hitter matchups for the long week 1. Again, that's opening day, March 27th through April 6th. The Blue Jays, Angels, Red Sox, Pirates, and Rays. The worst hitter matchups, Dodgers, Giants, Padres, Nationals, and Orioles. 4 names on your sleeper hitter list for the long week, Scott. You've already mentioned Gurriel, Soler, Toglia, Matt Wallner. The one is one of your favorites. The one we haven't mentioned, one of your favorites, Jonathan Aranda.
Yeah. So he gets to play at Swamp-Brenner Field too, another left-handed hitter who gets to take advantage of that. How many of their first 9 games are there? Since we're talking about the 11-day scoring period now, 6 of the first 9 games are. And matchups are the Rockies and Pirates pitching staffs in those games. And only 1 left-hander on the schedule for the entire 9-game slate. So Jonathan Aranda should play plenty.